Ooh. So, Kim, you were here on Tuesday morning, weren't you? For the first TASOGARE class? Or was it Tuesday evening?
Who?
Kim.
Evening.
And Amanda, you weren't here this week yet, are you?
No.
Were you? And Piotr, you were here on... Not at all?
Not this week, not at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay, so
Unfortunately.
this is all new. That's good. Right.
Student.
Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it? Right. Go to this. So first thing, guys, is here we go. So this will be the same for almost all languages, actually, but I'm going to obviously focus on Japanese. There is a kind of verb zoo. Every verb you've learned, you can just kind of throw into a bucket and say, right, how do we categorize these into different groups? Well, it's actually quite tricky because there's many ways of categorizing verbs. We've got some called the existence verbs, like iru and aru. We've got things called stative verbs. So this thing also overlaps with some of the existence verbs, but also has things like kikoeru, I can hear, mieru, to be able to see, and wakaru, to understand. You don't need to make extremely detailed notes on this, guys. It's just a reason to justify why we're doing this first bit first, unless you want to. We have movement verbs like to go, to return, and we also have real action verbs like to eat, to watch, that kind of thing. Yeah, and then dividing these in quite random ways, we've got some which fit onto the transitive side of the river, the transitive bank, and there are some that sit on the intransitive side of the river. And some of the reasonings why one might be on one side and the other side are completely random. You know, there may not be a guide that you can create to say, that's that, therefore that should be there. Sometimes it's just a case of it's in that group. There is no rationalization. So you know, even some of the existence verbs actually in the transitive side, which is a bit weird. Some of the stative verbs also on the transitive bank. Some of the movement verbs are also transitive, and there's a few action verbs which are on the intransitive side of the bank. So it's a real kind of mishmash and mix up of categories. That's what. So, but what I'd say is, don't worry too much about it. You'll almost certainly through usage and practice, you'll start to recognise, that fits into that category, and also fits in that category and that category. Because we've also got things like group 1, group 2, group 3 to make it more complex as well. So there's a lot of different ways of cutting up the groups of verbs. Now, why am I talking about this? More recently, while we've been doing YouTube videos and working from the manual, I've noticed that a couple of times they've used things like cafe de tabete imasu. And I thought, tabete imasu with de as a location marker, that doesn't make sense. There's imasu at the end and there's de as the location marker. This is wrong. It should be cafe ni tabete imasu. So I went looking around to find more information, and this was the best website I could find, actually. If you want, I can send you the link to this later if you want. And the answer is that actually it's a little bit more complicated than just having a simple rule. So I was both wrong and right, but this is the reason why. But let's first look at things which haven't changed, things which I've taught you which are still correct. So some unaltered points about ni. If we're using movement verbs, then we'll always mark the destination with either ni or e. And there's no difference between ni or e. It's entirely up to you which you use. So these movement verbs include iku, to go, kuru, to come, kairu, to go home, modoru, to return to a place, kai. So these are all intransitive verbs. And then we've got some transitive verbs, kaesu, to give something back to somebody. So actually to have an object to give back to somebody. Ireru, to insert, to put in. Ageru, to give or to elevate. Kureru, to give, also down to you, exactly. Watasu, to pass across to somebody. And this is intransitive. Haeru, to enter, like enter a building. And noru, to get on a bus or a train, to get on board something, or a ship, or an airplane. So all of these will use ni to indicate the destination. Also, there are some verbs which are not movement verbs, but they still need ni as a direction marker. For example, looking, not watching, which is also miru, but looking. So when I say not watching, for example, if I said terebi o mimasu, we mark the television as the object which we're looking at. So that still remains as o. But if I say look over there, asoko ni mite, then this is a direction. So it's not an object I'm pointing at, it's a direction. Asoko, that way. Asoko ni mite kudasai. So this needs not o, but ni. It's a direction. Asking. Kiku. Now this again is the same kanji and the same word as to listen. But if we use it to mean ask, then we need a direction to ask somebody, In this case, we also mark ni. For example, please ask Henry about the sayonara party. You would say, sayonara party ni suite, Henry-san ni kiite kudasai. When we're meeting somebody, again, we can use ao. For meeting, we use ao. The person we're meeting with, we can either use to say with, or ni to mean at. And teaching, or shieru. The subject you're teaching is marked with o, but the people you're teaching to, the direction is marked with ni. So, for example, to say, I taught the students mathematics, gakusei ni sugaku o oshiemasu. Okay, so far, guys? Cool. And also saying, so not talking, not hanasu, but simply saying. If I say something to somebody, again, this is a direction, I need to use ni. So basically, any verb which requires a direction. Now, I'm sure there are others, but for now, Pyeongtak, you okay? Doesn't.
No, I was wondering, you said that kiku, to ask, goes with ni, because you're marking a direction whom you're asking. If you use kiku as in listening to, is it not also ni?
Radio o kiku.
Oh, that's all. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, that's probably how to distinguish between whether you're listening or asking. If you're listening, you mark the object with or. If you're, sorry, did I say listening or asking? If you're listening to a radio, for example, then it's radio o. If you're asking, it's ni. Both use kiku, but just change the particle. Yeah, okay. Everybody okay, guys? Cool. Okay, for existence verbs which are by themselves, so there's no other verb in that subclause, then we still use ni. So, for example, I am in my house, I would say ima watashi no ie ni imasu. Ima watashi no ie ni imasu. Or I have a phone here. Koko ni keitai ga arimasu. Koko ni, here, keitai ga arimasu. For time references, we only use ni, we don't use e or de. And that's it. Any questions about this bit so far, guys? This is all unchanged from what we've already learned.
Yeah, so you mentioned tabete imasu.
これからの話だよ.
Hi. Okay. Sorry. すいません.
Hi. So the problem comes when we use the present continuous tense. By present continuous tense, I mean, 今、Kimさんがパソコンを見ています. Now you are looking at the PC. 今、Kim さんがパソコンを見ています。So anything with ています basically. A verb in the te form plus いる to mean something you're doing now. Okay? Like, so we normally have a verb with ing at the end. I am eating, I am watching, I am making. This is the present continuous. Now, contrary to what I've talked before, for the majority of cases, if we are doing a doing verb, then, and it's in the present continuous tense, then we should mark the location not with ni, but with de. So this is different to what I've taught before. Pour exemple, what does this mean, Kim? Eki de matte imasu yo.
I'm waiting at the station.
Good, exactly. And Piotr, cafe de kohi o nonde imasu.
I'm drinking coffee at the cafe.
Good. And Amanda, cafe de kohi o nonde imashita.
Well, I was drinking coffee at the cafe.
Perfect, exactly this, yeah. So even the present continuous tense, we can pick up that duration of doing something and put it into the past. Okay, we do that in English, we did it in Japanese, we probably do it in all other languages. So just to be absolutely clear, the fact that these clauses have got imas in them does not impact the location particle. It's got nothing to do with imas, it's to do with this verb, not the existence verb, but this verb, the thing that we're doing. Kim, go ahead.
So if I would say eki ni machimasu, then that would be correct.
No, it would be incorrect. So if it's the present tense, even the present continuous tense and the past tense, we mark all locations where we're doing something with de. It doesn't matter which tense it is, if it's present continuous or past or future.
It's
Actions.
Just...
Go ahead.
Okay. So, and if we take the verb miru and make it a continuous tense, does then the ni becomes a de?
Yes. For the time being, consider any verb when you're marking, with the exception of iru and aru, which are existence verbs. Any verb, please think that the location where you're doing it at is marked with de, regardless of the tense.
But is it changing the contents? No.
No.
But like I'm watching television.
Yeah, let me show you in a second. I'll grab the screen and show an easy summary. Let's do, I'm watching television in the kitchen, let's say. So kitchen is daidokoro.
Ah, okay. Then the kitchen, daidokoro, is becoming the location.
Right, where you do something. It's not the destination or the direction. It's just the location, isn't it? So daidokoro de, terebi. Let's do the past tense first, shall we? Mimashita.
Mimashita, yes.
Okay, and then this is exactly the same.
Mimas.
Correct, for the present future tense. And then it's also exactly the same for the present continuous, which would be
mite mimas.
Mite imasu.
Imas.
Yeah. And even if we put that present continuous in the past and say, I was watching television in the kitchen, again, nothing changes. This is still mite imashita. Yeah. So for all of the tenses, the location where you're doing the thing is marked as de. That doesn't change.
Okay.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm looking for an example where it changes. Is there an example?
So yes, there is, which is why I got confused, because I had seen times when the location was marked with ni, and it was a present continuous verb. And here, this is it now. Sorry. As I said, it's not to do with this verb, it's to do with this verb. This tells you if it's ni or de, because there are some exceptions which do use ni. And they are suwaru and tatsu, to sit and stand.
Short.
Yeah, exactly. I know that you can be sitting for hours and hours, but it's not like you're actually doing anything. When you sit, you go from a standing position to a sitting position. So this is instantaneous. It's not like I am, actually doing the sitting at any time. You are just sitting. Yeah, just doing this constantly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is, and the same with standing as well. This doesn't mean that these are verbs which are activity verbs, like they're doing verbs. They're state verbs. You're either sitting or you're standing. You don't actually do anything. You just change your state from a stood state to a sat state. Very similar to hairu, to going into somewhere, to enter a building.
You can only enter
like a moment, right? Yeah. It's not like you're spending hours entering the building. You go from being outside the building to inside the building in an instant. Yeah. So this also applies to the present tense as well. So if you want to say sit in a chair, this would still be isu ni suwarimasu, or stand in a line, retsu ni tachimasu. So it's not to do with the tense. The tense has nothing to do with it. It's only the verb that tells you which location or direction marker you're using. Sonzai suru, this is actually means the same as aru. This means to exist. It's exactly the same as aru. Sumu, to live at, to reside. For example, I live in the UK. This also, regardless as to the tense, uses ni. So this is, I think, the reason why I thought, okay, Igiris ni sunde imasu. I live in England. Igiris ni sunde imasu. So I got it into my brain that all the time we use present continuous, you mark the location with ni. This is almost certainly because of this. But this is, again, it's an exception. It doesn't refer to an activity that you're doing. It's a state. It's your status. Now, this one is a little bit more complex. Motsu, to hold. Motsu actually has two different meanings. It uses the same kanji. It's pronounced exactly the same. Now, I'm holding a mobile phone in my living room, let's say. So I would, hang on, let's not use living room. Let's use in my room. Heya de keitai o motte imasu. So this is when I'm holding the phone, I'm actually doing something. I'm actively doing something. This is a doing verb. In this case, the location is marked with de. Heya de keitai o motte imasu. If I put this into the present future tense, I will hold my phone. Again, this would be heya de keitai o mochimasu. I held my phone in my room. Heya de keitai o mochimashita. So this isn't, again, the location particle isn't changing. But motsu has another meaning. It also means to own. So usually, if we say I have a phone or I have money, usually we use arimasu. Usually we say keitai ga arimasu to mean I have the phone with me. But if you want to say I own something, then it's much more usual to use the word motsu. And this is often used for things which you can't carry, but you still own them, like a house, a car, something which might be remote from you. And this is a clear indicator that you don't mean I hold. If you say ie o mottemasu, this doesn't mean I'm holding a house. It means I own a house. And in this case, again, this is a status indicator. It's not an activity. So this also has the location marked with ni. Tomaru?
But then what would the content mean? You wouldn't be saying I have a house in my living room. Or
No.
would you say I have a house in Tokyo, for example?
Exactly this,
Tokyo
yeah.
ni ie o mochimasu? Or
Motteimasu.
sorry.
Motteimasu. Yeah, motteimasu.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly this. Yeah. Back to silence you. Tomaru, which means to stay, like to stay overnight, like a hotel. This also is a status. It's not an activity. This is used as ni. And ikiru, to live, and shinu, to die. Again, these aren't things that you do. These are your statuses. So if you, it's a bit funny to put this in a sentence, but you could say, for example, Greg is dead in Tokyo. Greg-san wa Tokyo ni shinde imasu. Yeah, poor Greg.
And the verb to live, it is live like coming to life, or no?
Yeah, it only means to be living. It doesn't mean to live in a house or in the country. We would use sumu in that case.
You're alive.
I'm alive. Yeah, it just means this. Yeah.
When you say I'm still alive.
Mada ikite imasu.
Iki?
Yeah. Ikite imasu.
Ikite. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, this is a group 2 verb, so it becomes
Still
ikite imasu. Yeah. Mada, still. Ikite imasu. I'm still alive. Yeah. So to summarize that rule in a pithy, easy to understand way, if you're actively doing a verb, if it actually requires some action on your part, then use de. For the existence of something or someone or your status, then use ni. Some of these I'm not entirely sure. For example, neru, I actually found out whether or not you say bed de nette imasu or bed ni nette imasu. But for the time being, just be aware that you might need to look it up and find out which verbs fit into which category.
Is it also maybe a status changing verb?
I think it is. So I would imagine it's probably bed ni nette imasu. Yeah. Because it's not something you actually do. You're either awake or you're asleep.
And sleeping is?
Neru.
Ah.
But you knew this, right?
Yeah, but that's not changing, falling asleep. It's not falling asleep.
So to fall asleep, this is nemurimasu. And to kind of go to bed, to become horizontal, is neru. But to be honest, these are used fairly interchangeably by Japanese people. Usually, neru is kind of casual because it's short, and nemuru is used as formal because it's longer. So if you ask your sensei, did you sleep well? You often say, yoku nemurimashita ka, rather than yoku nemashita ka.
I'm not going to ask that.
Oh.
Well, ask, when you see Yuki at any sort of dojo meets, say, Yuki sensei, yoku nemurimashita ka.
She would go like,
it's none of your business. Why are you asking me? Cool. Any questions, guys? Oh, good. Excellent. Right. So today, we should actually... Oh, actually, let's do some little exercises because it'll be useful just to embed this in our brains. Just a few little exercises. It's really busy tonight with so few of you. Let's see if we can get through these really, really quickly, as this is the expert class. What? Amanda, would you like to start? Hannah is at the airport right now. Should we go and meet her?
Tadaima Hana-san, can't remember what airport is. But whatever it is, it's
Kuko.
Kuko ni imasu.
Yeah, exactly this. Should we go and meet her?
I'm sure.
Okay, this works. This works fine. I'm sure. I think where you've missed a couple of the last few lessons, Amanda, there's a thing I want us just to kind of embed here as a little aside. Let's put it over here for a second. It's two compound sentences which mean completely different things. So the only reason why I'm mentioning them together is I don't want you to mix them up. One is go and do something, and the other one is try something. They're utterly different, so just be careful not to mix them up. So go and do something. We often use this, don't we? Let's go and eat sushi. I'm going to go and do training. This kind of go and do something also exists in Japanese as well. So, for example, if you wanted to say, let's go and eat sushi, you could do this in the easy way, the standard, the kind of really sort of sequential way, would say, itte, go, sushi o tabemashou. This is fine. But it's kind of clunky. Let's go somewhere and eat sushi. What I actually want to say, let's go and eat sushi, let's go and eat. So we'd say sushi o tabe ni ikimashou. So we take the mass form of the verb. So this is verb in the mass form, without the mass, just the stem, plus ni iku.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just do the other one as well, Amanda, sorry. Then to try something, this is, again, for example, to taste some food, or to taste a drink, or generally to sample something, This is, for example, saying, the literal translation of this is to eat and see, drink and see, go and see, for example. These are all means to sample something. So we do this in the te form. We would say tabete mimasu, nonde mimasu. Even you could even say let's go and see, itte mimasu. I might watch The Matrix Part 3. I know it's an awful film, but I might just give it a look. This would also be mite mimasu. I'll give it a try. I'll sample it. I know it's not worth it, is it? Better just to stick with one. Yeah.
Okay. I think I did know that, but I'd forgotten.
That's okay. Sorry, Kim.
I liked that movie.
The third one.
Oh, the third one. Oh.
Yeah.
Little less.
She was croaking for so goddamn long.
The first one I liked very much.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's my favorite film ever. The third one was like, yeah, the third one is, oh, for God's sake, die, will you? Jesus. All right. So Amanda, back to you.
Okay, so so kanojo ni I ni ikimashou.
Perfect. 100% good. So good, so good. Kim. Oh, fuck.
I hope you did that.
No, it was me. Sorry.
I was also pushing at the same moment the space bar.
Okay, this one is a tiny bit challenging. That's right.
Let's watch the travel TV program in the living room.
So living room, you can just call it a living room.
Do I know the word for living room?
It's ima.
Ima. Ima also.
Yeah, yeah.
And garden?
Niwa.
Niwa. Ah, yes.
Which is fun, isn't it? Because all these things mean different things. Ima also means now, and niwa now means over there, or it's like there.
It's nice language.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Gogo or gozen? No, gogo.
Gogo. Yeah.
Gogo. Yonji ni.
This is yoji.
Yoji. Damn it. Yoji ni.
Yep. Good.
Then living room.
Let's use ima.
Okay. Ima de.
Good.
TV program o.
So this is it's a travel TV program. So what's travel?
That's the same.
No. We're going to use the Japanese word. Andre watches these afterwards, and he gives you points, and then he tells me who's doing well.
Is it like tourist? No, that's travel.
It's ryoko.
Ryoko no terebi o no program o.
So program is bangumi.
Bangumi. So no between that one because
no, correct.
It's together.
Yeah.
O.
Yep.
Mimashou.
Perfect. Exactly this. Good. And Pyeongtaek. I was studying geography on the train every day last week, but I often fell asleep.
Remind me geography.
It's a South American country.
Minami no America no kuni.
Brazil or
Brazil?
No, think of South American countries. Use your geography to think about South American countries.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Peru.
Not Peru. Keep going southwest.
Southwest. Oh Jesus. Southwest.
Or west anywhere, I should say.
Chile?
Chile. There we go. Chile.
Oh, it's Chile. Okay, it is actually Chile. Okay.
It is really Chile.
Senshu Mainichi Densha de Chiri o Benkyo shite imashita. Shiteirun kedo. Shiteirun ga, sorry.
Think about how we need to turn imashita into the plain form if you're going to do that. Itan desu ga yoku nemurimashita. Nemurimashita. Good. If you want to sort of kind of infer you fell asleep unintentionally, like it was an accident, you could say something else, couldn't you?
Nemurimashita, nemuru it is, right? So nemutta. No,
Nemutte.
And then I regret because it's over. Jesus.
Yeah. Sounds like shimashita.
Shimaimashita.
Shimaimashita. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Well done. Good. Kim, stop looking like that. We've done shimao like 3,000 times.
On Sundays mostly.
Yeah, sometimes during the week. You know this one, Kim, don't you? Okay, get your pens ready, children. Right. If you've got a edict on your phone or on your internet or something similar, type in shimao, shimau.
I still don't have this tablet installed in my kitchen, unfortunately.
You have it stuck on the wall.
Mada tablet o daidokoro no wall ni arimasen.
Arimasen ka. Zannen ne. Okay, yeah, so you get this one here?
To finish?
Yeah, That's the one. If you click on that one,
Stop.
and then as you see, you've got a variety of different kanji. I think it's the last one actually means, although it's only spelt actually in hiragana these days. It's the last meaning: to do accidentally, to do without meaning to, or to happen to do. Can you see this? Bottom of, if you actually click on, no, come away, go back a page, Kim. Just go to the listing like this.
That one. Okay.
I can't, yeah, you've got the same screen. Then look at the lowest entry.
To do accidentally, to do without meaning to.
Yeah.
To happen to do.
Yes. So the way we form this, if you say I accidentally
fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep, for example, then you would say it's the verb that you do it in the te form, and then shimal. So to fall asleep, like for example, nete shimaimashita. Or unfortunately he died. Shinde shimaimashita. Shimaimashita. So it creates a form of regret or lack of intention in the verb.
Okay.
Often, if something goes wrong with a plan, or you have an accident, drop something, then you might hear this in manga and on anime. People shout "shimatta, shimatta," which is just the plain form of shimaimashita. It kind of means, ah, crap. Yeah. Right. Pyeongtong. Oh, you did the last one. Amanda. Which restaurant should we eat at this evening? The pizza restaurant looks fun because you wear the bread on your head.
Dochira, it's going to be sort of like restaurant. It's restauranto.
So if you use dochira, then you need to use no. And then this kind of suggests that maybe you can make that much easier by saying dono.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dono restaurante de tabemasu.
So
this evening.
shall we?
Konban.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Konya.
Konya. Konya. Konya. Dono restaurante.
Tabemasu.
This is shall we eat, so it's kind of volitional.
Oh, tabemasho.
Yeah, and it's a question.
Ka.
Yes. And then the pizza restaurant looks fun.
I couldn't find pizzeria, so I guess it's going to be something like pizza no restaurant.
Exactly.
Tanoshi so desu.
Very good. Tanoshi. So it's only the short, is without the final e. Tanoshi so desu.
Tanoshi so desu.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand. I mean, I've just spent some time catching up in the last couple of weeks, and there was this dropping the e from it looks like, but having the e when it's like, is it like I heard that?
Yes.
So is that correct?
Exactly
right,
this.
okay.
Yeah. So just a really quick run. Let's do. We'll just do verb for the time being. We'll do a verb at the group one, and we'll do an e adjective. So looks is you make the mass form of the verb. Let's use iku, iki, and then so desu, iki so desu. So it's like it interjects itself between iki and mass.
Yeah.
Wedges itself in. And then e adjectives, it wedges itself in between the adjective stem and the e at the end. So atsui becomes atsu so desu. So we actually lose that e completely in some cases. With tanoshi, this is a double e at the end, isn't it? It's tanoshi and then another e like this. So we lose that final e and it becomes tanosh so desu. So that's she, it's still she because you can't make a syllable of sh in Japanese. But it's slightly devoiced, so it comes out as tanosh so desu.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for it sounds or I heard, you allow both the verb and the adjectives to be completed. So iku would be iku so desu, and atsui would be atsui so desu, without devoicing anything.
Okay. And that's how you know what the context is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think it's probably a good idea to leave a little gap between iku so desu and atsui so desu. You can hear I'm completing the word before I go into so desu to make it sound like that person said.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim, you're next.
Okay.
So, isn't there missing a little bit? I heard that the sushi restaurant. Yes. No, okay, okay. Konya dono restaurant. Tabeni.
So what particle should we put after restaurant?
There.
Okay.
There, because it is doing it for longer time.
Yeah.
Shall we go? There. Tabeni. Iku.
Yeah, it's a shall we eat, so it's a kind of volitional.
Iko.
Yeah, ikoka.
Ikoka. Ah, yes, there's a question. Ikoka.
Yeah.
Ikoka. Sushi restaurant.
So if you, just to be slick, for Japanese food restaurants, if you put ya after it, it turns it into a shop.
Sushi ya. Sushi ya ga.
Yep.
Oishii so desu.
Very good, yes. Oishii so desu.
Oishii so desu, yes.
Good. Okay, this de here, this can be either de or ni actually. It could be de referring to tabe, or it could be ni referring to iku. So in this case, where we do this, you can use either.
And then you have 2 times ni in one sentence, no?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Really? Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah. Don't listen on ni tabeni. Yeah, this is fine. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Koka. Yes.
Sorry, I'm just going to shut some stuff down because my computer's going really slow. Right.
But first, I stole the first part from the previous sentence. But if you say this evening, like kono ban or something, that's
Konban.
Konban. Yeah.
Yeah, you would be perfectly understood. Your konban does mean this evening, but usually if you talk about usually we only use konban to say konbanwa, to say good evening, and bangohan meaning evening dinner. Usually if we say this evening, it actually means the evening and the night. So you say konya to mean a
longer period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. When I was 25, just a mere stripling of a lad, I lived in Morocco, but now I live in Seattle. Seattle is very easy to live in.
25歳いるとき?
So in this case, you can just say 25歳のとき.
No toki. Okay.
Yeah.
Morocco is Morocco.
It's actually got it's Morocco, I think.
Okay. The English pronunciation. Okay.
Yeah.
Morocco ni sundeimashita ga tadaima Seattle ni sundeimasu.
Something like that, isn't it? Ni sundeimasu. Yeah.
Kono machi wa to live in. To live in. So would I be using the continuous here or the? I mean, obviously with the yasui, but
just use the. You're saying it is.
Konomachi wa sumiyasui desu.
Oh, this yo.
Totemo sumiyasui desu.
Oh, yes.
Or, yeah.
Totemo.
Konomachi is this city?
This town.
This town.
Yeah.
And this city, is that completely different?
No, it's Konomiyako. There's quite a few words for city, so quite often, even Tokyo is referred to as Konomachi.
Even Tokyo,
Yeah,
as a machi.
Yeah.
So basically, in mainland Europe, especially in the Benelux, we only have villages.
Exactly. Yeah. City is
Europe is a machi.
Yeah. Well, she is the literal. If you're writing it down, you would use this.
Wait, sorry. Isn't that district as well, like Nagoya-shi or Iwakura-shi?
Well, the thing is that city in Japanese actually refers to districts. It's really complicated. There are prefectures, then there are cities, districts, towns, wards, and then not all of them follow this thing. So, for example, it's Tokyo to meaning city, but Kyoto fu, which is, and they're both cities, but the word to mean like city after it is different for Tokyo than it is for Kyoto.
Because if you're signs or
it's probably history, something to do with it being.
The glazed look on Kim's face, like.
What are they talking about?
I know. If you're just talking about city in the abstract, then most people say either shitty, or
that's shitty.
It is a bit shitty, or toshi.
Toshi. Yeah.
Toshi.
Like Otoshiyori, people from the city.
Or toshi no Toshiyori. But if you want to know more about that, then you have to go somewhere else and look it up, because I don't know. I don't understand. There's almost certainly lots of YouTube channels about it. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Kim, Chiba Sensei is sitting in that large chair over there. Why don't you sit next to him?
I'm afraid of him.
Sorry, just a second.
Chiba Sensei.
What?
Large. Oki issue.
Was?
I would over there. Asoko. I would start Asoko. Oki isu.
Okay, this is fine, but we need to use a link between Asoko and Oki isu.
Asoko ni.
Asoko ni. But we're about to mark isu, the location.
Yeah.
So you might think about using Asoko no Oki isu. But then, if you do this is kind of clunky. Why not just say ano?
Ano, because I don't know that word.
Yes, you do. We did it in lesson 3. You definitely know it.
Bang.
Kono keitai, sono keitai,
Hi.
ano keitai. Remember?
Yeah. Ano, yeah. Okay. Ano oki isu. Ni, because it is sitting. Chiba Sensei wa. Ga. Okay. Ga. Suwatte imasu.
Good. Yeah. This isn't exactly a hard rule, but usually you probably remember that the Japanese sentence structure is topic, blah, blah. Verb, right?
Sensei ga.
Yeah, so Chiba Sensei is actually the subject, but in this case, you can use him as the topic, even though he's marked with ga, and it's better to stick him at the front. Chiba Sensei ga, oki isu ni.
Isu ni suwatte imasu.
Good, yeah.
Why don't you sit next to him? Why?
Just before we answer this question, what is this? Not in Japanese, I mean in English. What is this? What's the definition? Is it?
Or is it a suggestion?
Yeah, it's an invitation.
It's an invitation, isn't it, really? I mean, if you said, why don't you sit next to him? And the answer was, because he smells, then it would have been a question. But it sounds more like an invitation to me.
So ending with kudasai would be nice.
Or, how do you do invitations usually? How do you normally do a kind of invitation, like a suggestion?
I don't know.
Would that be the form of itadakimasen ka?
Not exactly. I mean, that's still making a request. But how would you say, won't you come to my party?
Okay.
Ikimasu ka? Ikimasen ka?
Ikimasen ka, yeah.
But why don't you?
This why don't you, this why at least, is English language trash. This is kind of like how to make a sentence flowery and pretty. But what you're actually saying is sit next to him.
Sit next to him.
Or what, don't sit. Will you not sit next to him? Will you not sit next? Yeah, exactly. Won't you sit next to him?
And next to somebody next to.
That's so we're now into today's extra bonus session. Ready?
Yes.
Tonari desu ka?
Tonari desu. Demo, tonari, soba ni, tonari ni, soba ni, yoko ni, and waki ni. These are 4 different ways of meaning kind of next to.
But I guess I cannot just pick one of them.
Some of them you can, some of them you can't. So we're actually going to I'm going to explain this first, and then maybe next week we're going to watch a video, the JLPT video, where she explains all this, and you'll already have the information. So you just have to learn all you have to focus on is what she's saying, trying to understand what she's saying rather than the meaning. Okay, so tonari ni means, for example, it means next to me, but it means the person-shaped space next to me. So if I want to say, for example, let's see. Look at the screen a second, guys. Pink pen no tonari ni aka pen ga arimasu. There are 2 rules here. One is that the thing that it is next to is the same category as the thing you're talking about. These are both pens. So you can say, pink pen no tonari ni aka pen ga arimasu. This is fine. What they can't do is say, pink pen no tonari ni keitai ga arimasu. These are not the same category items. It doesn't really matter with solid items, really. It matters when you talk about people. The other thing is there's nothing between these 2. There's nothing obstructing them. So it means something to my left or my right, which is the same as me, and there's nothing in between us. There's no obstruction. So it's the human-shaped space, or with my case, dog-shaped space next to me, either at my left or my right. And there's nothing obstructing us. There's only space.
So if I may go into the pedantic question, let's say you're swimming and you want to swim next to somebody, there's water in between, would that still be seen as not an obstruction because it's fluid and can be pushed away?
Is as seen as ambience. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tonari. In
Tonari.
that case, tonari.
Okay. Right. So that's tonari ni. So the two features were same category of thing and no obstructions. Oh, it's also left and right sides.
So it doesn't mention left or right. Can be.
It can be either, but it's at the sides though. It's either left or right. It's not in front or back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You okay, Amanda? I might need a majestic moose to indicate that you're ready to carry on. Okay, good. Sobani, this is the same as chikakuni. This means close to. And this can be basically 360 degrees around you, no other regulation. And it really means very close, like arm's length.
So in the first case, you can be further away.
Yes, it can,
So
although, well, it does suggest it's somebody who's relatively close. Not necessarily right close to you, but it doesn't mean it can be somebody maybe 2 or 3 spaces down. But the further you get, the more chance there's going to be something in the way, right? Yeah, and the further away you are, you're no longer tonari, you're no longer next to, you're now miles away. Yeah.
But sobani,
Yep.
You mentioned very close, but an arm length.
Arm length. And
My
any
arms
direction.
are pretty long.
It's okay. We'll assume the person you're holding is also quite large. And there's your daughter also giving you an arm length to show. But it doesn't have to be the same category. It can be, for example,
whatever.
Yeah. Watashi no soba ni tama ga arimasu. There is a ball near me. Yeah. It can be behind, in front. Doesn't have to be the same category. Who wants to listen to Piotr chewing his food? Okay, next is yokoni. This means to the side. Why does it keep jumping out? To the side. This means anything to the left or to the right of me and any distance. It's a line that I draw out to the sides and anything that's on that line. Obstructed or unobstructed, it doesn't matter. It just means something which is lateral to me.
Does it take into account the Earth's curvature?
Vatura. What are you talking about, Piotr? The Earth isn't curved. Look, my shed in my garden is in the same height as I am. It's not curved. The ground is flat.
Of course, just like a basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, and finally, wakini. You might have heard the word wakizashi before. Yeah, or towaki. It's an Okuden form that you haven't been taught yet, Kim.
Is that the same as wakibara?
Wakibara, yeah, exactly. Waki, this is my waki. My flanks. So wakini means to my left or right and really close, like almost touching me. And again, this doesn't need to be the same category. It does need to be left or right and very close.
So is it basically like a combination of soba?
You muted, but I'm assuming you said sobani and tonari-ni,
Yeah.
or yoko-ni. Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. Yeah. It means like flank, really. Okay, so now you might have more than one choice when you say sit next to him. Let's think about the different, almost certainly the correct answer is tonari-ni. Chiba Sensei is a human, you are a human, you want to sit in the chair next to him, not one or two chairs down. So tonari-ni is good. What else could we use? Soba-ni, sit close to him. Yep, could be. That could be one chair away though. But so it at least means sit near him, which would suggest sit next to him. Yoko-ni?
Possible.
Oh, yeah, why not?
But that's maybe a little bit further.
Yeah, it
could be.
Yes, yeah, it could. I mean, if all the chairs are in one line anyway, then you might think, well, yoko-ni is like any of them. So surely this means next to him. It must be the next chair. Waki-ni?
It would be awkward.
Sit in his chair with him, with your arm around his shoulders. I do sense it. Yeah. But often, for example, if let's say a sensei is demonstrating Soitazuki and he asks for a volunteer to be the enemy, they'll quite often say waki ni ite kudasai. Please be right next to me. Waki ni. Tonari ni is fine as well. If you say yoko ni, it means, well, that means I can be any distance away from him. Just needs to be on his sideline. And soba ni means anywhere around me, so it's not this either.
It's
so
not really defined.
Exactly, yeah. So there'll often be more than one choice, but yeah, you need to decide which one is which.
So if you want to say to somebody, stay close to me, or then you can use soba-ni.
You can, exactly.
Because he can either be in front of you or behind you, it doesn't matter.
Exactly, yes, yeah. And if you're wearing really nice underarm deodorants, they might say waki-ni. Yeah. Okay, right, let's go back to this, Kim. Why don't you sit next to him?
Tonari-ni suwarimasen-ka?
Perfect. Good. Excellent. Amanda? Felix's wife was standing in the lobby. I don't know where she is now, though.
Okay, is wife Fujin, or is that very old-fashioned?
It's better. The most polite word to use actually is oksan.
Oksan.
Yeah, if you're talking about somebody else's wife.
Okay.
Rather than your wife, which would be a bit strange, I guess, as you're married to a man. I don't know.
I might be a bigamist. Felix-san no okusan ni tete imashita, and I've missed out the lobby because sorry.
So okusan ga.
Lobby goes in okusan. Sorry, I've got lost now. Shall I start again? Felix-san no okusan lobby ni tate imashita.
Lobby ni tate imashita. Good.
I might have guessed it was going to be Robbie. Robbie.
Yeah. So the word I'd like you to.
There is a word for lobby, isn't there?
There is. It's genkan. Genkan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Genkan ni tate imashita. Hey. I don't know where she's now though.
Tadaima doko de imasu.
Hang on. This is imas, so it's not there, but
Ni.
Yeah.
Shirimasen.
So doko ni, and then what's the next word?
Imas.
Imas.
Shirimasen.
Okay.
I don't know where she is.
So this is fine. So actually, what you're saying is.
It's a subclause. So should I put it in a different?
Yeah, but it's also a question.
Okay. So should I say doko ni iru shirimasen ka? No.
Iru.
Shir-
It's a question. Where is she? Doko ni iru ka? And then I don't know.
Shirimasen.
Yeah, shirimasen or wakarimasen.
So that's because of the tadaima doko ni iru ka is all the subclause. That's why it's iru and not imas.
Correct. Yeah, to make it clear that you're saying that this is the thing that I don't know. Tadaima now. Doko ni iru ka? Where is she? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Kim?
Are you really saying she?
She? Her, you mean?
Yeah.
So it's not mentioned in this subclause.
Okay. So if we would like to add kanojo.
Oh, you can. Tadaima.
Well, I think it's obvious from the context that I don't know where she is, rather than I don't know where I am.
Yeah,
I agree, but
just to make it just for clarity.
Yeah,
exactly. It's inferred, but you could say tadaima kanojo ga doku ni iru ka wakarimasen.
Okay. That's again the ga, so it goes pretty much in front.
It's best to, I mean, to be honest, at the beginning of this, unwritten is
what?
Yeah, go on.
Watashi wa?
Yeah, watashi wa. And this watashi wa
refers to
is
shirimasen.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly this. Yeah. Cool. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Kyung-Tok.
So just to remind me, could we not use shiteimasen in this case? There was a reason, I believe, but I'm blanking out again. I don't know where she is. I'm ignorant of where she is, or
right. Hang on a second. So the verb shiru only comes in a number of special flavors. Vanilla, which means I know, is shite imasu. Yeah. Sorry, shite imasu. Ne? Shite imasu. Chocolate, I don't know.
Shirimasen.
Shirimasen. I didn't know, which is strawberry.
Oh, I was hoping for pistachio.
Shirimasen deshita. And that's it. These are the only flavors it comes in.
Yeah, true. That was
imashita. You can't. There's not even shite imashita or shirimashita. These don't exist.
Yeah. Because if you knew, you still know. That's the implication, right?
Unless you had brain injury. Yeah.
And then you say shirimasen.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kim, go ahead.
What is the context difference between shiru and wakiru?
Good question. Wakaru means to generally bear in mind that there is some overlap in these definitions sometimes. Wakaru means I understand and I know a fact. Shiru means I am intimate with, I know a person. So often for facts or information you use wakaru.
So wakaru would be better here then.
It would actually, really, yeah. But if you throw it in there, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, better to have wakarimasen, to be honest.
And in what case you would prefer shiru?
So try to think of things that you become. It's not a thing that you hear and then you know. It's a person that you meet or a town that you are intimate with because you've been there, or these sorts of things where you need familiarity. It's to be familiar with. So people, places. For example, I can't say London ga wakarimasu. That you understand London doesn't make any sense. But do you know London? London shiteimasu. Yeah, I know London. I've been there. I live there. I've been around the place. I'm familiar with it. This is where you normally use shiru. Yeah, it's kind of tricky because this is a kind of a cloudy linguistics question. It's not about grammar. It's purely about definition of word, which is sometimes a little bit overlapping. Yeah. So, for example, do you know how to repair a saya? You could probably say saya no wakarimasen, but you could say I know the process, I know the method. You'd say saya no shuri no hoho o shite imasu. So sometimes there's a little bit of an overlap. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Practice.
Yeah. It will become easy. For the time being, I would say if you're talking about knowing someone, use shiru. If you're talking about knowing information, then use wakaru generally. Yeah. That was Amanda, wasn't it? Yeah. Pyeongtong. Tonight I will stay in a very expensive hotel. Where are you staying, Linda?
今夜、とても高いホテル、I'm assuming ni, and stay. I would say sleep.
No, there's actually a verb for staying in the hotel. It sounds like stop, but it is actually stop.
Tomeru or tomaru? Tomaru probably.
Tomaru is intransitive, right? So it would be the tomarimasu.
Tomarimasu, yes.
Yeah. Hey, where are you staying?
あなたはどこに泊まりますか?
Yeah. どこに泊まりますか?
That's the question.
No, I really want to emphasize. What about you?
Yeah.
As for you,
that's what I was going to ask is, do you need, because I was thinking, well, the verbs are both the same, but obviously I'm not going to be, I've just told you where I'm staying. I'm not going to be asking where I'm staying. So do you need the anatawa?
No.
But you could also replace it by just anatawa, right?
You could say this. Or better still, it's better still to say the person's name with an raising intonations to say, for example, Amanda-san wa? Amanda-san wa? What means, what about Amanda? Yeah. It's good. Yeah. Kim, I own a large house in the countryside, but during the week I stay in a hotel in London.
The countryside
is inaka. Inaka.
I have to peek.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna peek. I know this one. It is from Motsu, and
Good.
I'm going to, in this case, what was the countryside?
Inaka.
Inaka de? No?
Ie de keitai o
That's
mottemasu.
the different one. That's the other one. To own.
Yeah.
It's ni.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's okay.
Okay. Inaka ni oki ie ga.
You want to say motteru?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Motteiru.
Good. Motteiru. Yeah.
During the week, I stay in a hotel.
Weekend is shumatsu. What's weekdays? Do you remember?
No, I
Anybody
didn't
help?
study that one.
You did, you liar. You just forgotten. Stop saying I didn't study. Can anybody help Kim? Amanda? Piotr?
It's on the tip of my ear, but not my tongue, unfortunately.
It's heijitsu. Heijitsu.
Heijitsu ni.
Good.
That's the time reference. Stay in the hotel in London. Rondon ni.
Yep.
Again.
Although we might need to replace ni because it's not the only location, is it?
No. You mean London no hotel or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Hoteru, and then to stay, it's again ni
Good.
tomarimasu.
Yes, good. Exactly. Tomarimasu. Good. Is that a wave, Piotr?
No, it's a question.
Dozo.
Oh, so, hi. No, jokes aside, could you use okinai?
So the let me just explain this a second. Let's get rid of this jibber jabber. There is chisana, so it's chisai. This means small. Oki, this means large. And then we've got all these alternatives, which are na adjectives, and they're spelt the same way. Chisana and okina. Sorry, actually, this is okina, I think. Not okina, but okina. These are used for small and large when you're talking about non-material concepts, like problems. So a small problem is chisana mondai. What, Monday? That is a problem, isn't it? A big opportunity is okina kano. So these aren't material solid objects, they're concepts. So you usually use these for concepts.
It's just I was thinking his house was imaginary, so okinai, but yeah.
If it's not a house there, it's just a concept of a house, like a virtual house, then yeah. You can use okina. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but thank you.
Amanda, look over there. There's a flying elephant.
My postilion has been struck by lightning, isn't it? So asoko ni mite kudasai. It seems a bit polite. Would I use a strong command there, or is that would that be mire?
It's a group 2 verb. Mire is for group 1.
Oh, I forgot. I can't remember what that needs to be then.
It's miro.
Oh, miro. Okay.
Yeah.
Asoko ni miro. Zo tonde imasu.
Oh, good. Yeah, zo ga tondimasu. This is actually a fine way of doing this. Yeah. Zo ga. There is an elephant flying. There is another way of doing this. You can put the tonderu before the elephant and say it is a flying elephant. Tonde iru zo da. Or des, to make it easier. It is an elephant flying, or it is a flying elephant. Okay, and then finally, Pyeongtaek. It looks very difficult, so why don't you ask Mihao Sensei how to do that kata?
とても難しそうです。けど、
Kedo is, in this case, might sound like a but, so you could probably use musakashi. So, nandesu ka?
Yeah, that was actually what I was looking for. But so that was with the none. Yes. そうなんですが、ミハル先生にあの方を and then do するのを聞きませんか?
It's not quite right. It's a very good attempt at this.
No, sorry, how to do that kata.
Yeah.
あの方の仕方を聞きませんか?
Very good. Good. I know where you're going with that. And
Okay, yeah.
there is the way that you were going to do that, which is also a perfectly legitimate way of saying this, is say, あの方を how どうやってするか聞きませんか?
Actually, I had just missed the house. Why don't you ask Michal Sensei to do that kata? Which was why I said kata suru no.
I see.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
どうやってするか. Okay.
Yeah.
どうやってするか. Oh, you're making a question as a
Subclause. Yeah.
subclause. Yeah.
あの方をどうやってするか聞きませんか?
Would you not? You wouldn't use the or then.
Actually, I was just trying to remember if you do all this. It sounds right. あの方をどうやってするかを I think you do, but どうやってするか?
Because it's like when you use you make subclauses with the no, wa, no, ga, no.
Yeah.
You still add the particle. Would that be here? Would that be the case here as well?
Yes, I think it is. I think it is. So that would also make Tadaima kanjo wa doku ni iru ka ga wakarimasen. Yeah.
Ga.
Yeah.
Would that be ga?
Yeah, it's wakarimasu. This is a state of verb.
Because the implied kanojo ga is in the subclause.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. 難しい.
So right. Any questions, guys?
So you have count on both the subclause and the main clause in the last one?
Yeah.
Because they're both questions. Because you're asking why don't you, and actually the thing that why don't you do is also asking questions. So that's why. Is that why?
Yes. Yeah. Why don't you ask him how? How is a question, isn't it? And why is also a question. Yeah. So quite often, ka is kind of a little bit formal. A sentence can also be expressed by using no. Iku no? Are you going? Taberu no?
Sorry.
It's not the possessive. It's just a.
No, it's the casual counterpart to ka.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh Jesus, I'm starting to talk like this.
Would you want that rather than having two ka in one sentence then?
Yeah. It just
Which one would you put as no? Would you put the subclause as no because it's less formal?
Exactly this. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Moi kohani? Moye kohani? Is it moye kohani or moi kohani?
Moye is like singular, but then neutral, and moi is plural. Actually, no, wait. Moi is plural masculine, and moye would also be plural feminine.
So it's moye kohani.
Well, in this case, no, because despite the gender equality around the world, like in French, Polish, when there are multiple people of both genders,
right?
It gets to the masculine. So moi kohani.
Moi kohani.
And otherwise, if we were only women, like you like it during Niai, it would be moye kohane.
Kohane, right? Yes, yeah.
Because kohani is also plural masculine.
Right.
Did you get that, Kim? It's still all in nominative, so yeah, because
it isn't Japanese anymore.
What happened?
Okay. Then I can follow.
Right. The rest of the class, guys, is. Do you remember this Wakaru video that we did last week? Yes, Kim, you do. So we're going to listen to it again. Yeah, it should be actually easier now because we've just done. Oh, have we? No, we haven't. We haven't done this week's lesson yet. Shit.
It's going to be real quick because we only have 3 people.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh well. Let's see if we can get through this. Then I might ask you guys to just spend 10 or 15 minutes doing the video for homework. Right. these are useful expressions which are extracted from that Wakaru video to help you to do live practice. I'm going to go through this relatively fast. If you get confused or you want me to slow down or to write notes, just give me a wave, and this will say to me to pause a second.
Is this all in the regular slides as well?
It is.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so used to catching these up on YouTube that I keep trying to pause you while you're speaking.
Oh, sorry. Now's your opportunity. You can pause a YouTube video, by the way. You just gotta ask it a question.
That's what I do. And like if I need to write notes and it's going quite fast, I pause it and write the notes. But no, get that I'm actually here. So.
Oh, so you don't press a button to pause me?
So I can write, yeah, pause handy.
Then it sounds like a good app on a phone. Pause Andy.
Yeah.
It sends me an electric shock. Okay, so the meaning of how to describe meaning. This is done by saying A, the thing that you're talking about, and then B is the explanation. So A, toyu imi wa B desu. Okay, you should, if you don't know this, I would advise writing the sentences down. So this quite literally means A, it is said, meaning is B. So this toyu means it is said, or as people say, or as you say. 例えば、さえべきという意味は、さえを引くことです。Probably a good idea to write down one example per thing. You don't need to write down all the examples. It's just repeating the same thing. These are quite simple little self-contained phrases. Go ahead.
No koto desu.
This means that this is just turning hiku into, it's nominalizing it, it's turning it into a noun. Yeah, that's all.
So it's the important thing about saibiki is to pull the saya.
Not the important thing. The meaning of saibiki is to pull the saya. Yeah. Or to literally say this is the pulling of the saya, right? In English, yeah.
Is biki derived from hiku then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a compound of saya, the noun, and the thing you're doing. Yeah. Or omoiyari toyu imi wa. You don't need to write this down, guys, but let's try and translate this. Hoko no hito no joutai o kangaeru koto desu. Joutai means situation or status. So omoiyari toyu imi wa hoko no hito no joutai o kangaeru koto desu. What does this mean? Kim, do you want to have a try?
Hoka, I don't know what does that
This
mean?
means other.
Other person's situation. Kangaeru.
This means to raise a small animal in your pouch in an Antipodean country. Kangaeru. It's the verb meaning to raise a small animal in your front pouch and jump around a lot.
Does it have something to do with a kangaroo?
No.
No.
What does kangaeru mean? Kangaeru?
Consider.
To consider. Yeah, to think about.
So that another person consider. means to consider another person's meaning and another person's, what was it again?
Situation or status.
Situation.
Yeah, exactly this. So it actually means sympathy or empathy or consideration. Yeah, to consider another person's situation.
Yeah, I'm very bad at that.
Yes, I know. Your partner keeps posting on Facebook about it. To ask what does it mean, then you can say doyu imi desu ka? Do, meaning what, basically is a very open what said, what you said, what is said, what is the meaning? Sorry, of what is said, what is the meaning? Doyu imi desu ka? Je désirais un petit danse pour la confirmation de compréhension. Merci. Isn't French amazing? You just say all the English words in French and it just makes sense. Okay.
Isn't that the other way around?
No, we made English first. Okay. Now, there's about 3 different sections here, and you'll notice they're all got the same blue, well, a slightly varied color of blue to head them. They're all a little bit similar. This means the meaning of, and then you'll understand what I mean by this means to explain meaning. Sounds weird, doesn't it? One's describing meaning and the other one's explaining the meaning. And I shall now explain the difference between the two. If you write down the example first, then I'll give you an example which will help to, sorry, write down the sentence first and I'll give you an example to help understand it. Est-ce qu'il y a une danse de compréhension? Oui. Merci. Merci. Oh, this is very good. This is very different. Right. Amanda, you okay? Good to go? Cool. Okay, so these two are almost interchangeable, but they can be used in a slightly different way. This sentence here is exactly the same as this one. I've just replaced no with koto.
Does that make any difference to the meaning, or is it just interchangeable?
This is slightly more formal, so we should write it this way. This is slightly less formal, you should say it this way. But if you say this one, it's absolutely fine. If you write this one, it sounds a bit weird. It reads a bit weird. So you can be formal in speech or writing, but try to be formal in writing. Okay, so what is the difference between these two is, Amanda, do you want to try and do this one?
Tomorrow, so getting up early, which means about 6 o'clock or roughly that.
Right. So both of these sections are talking about meaning, but this one kind of means not what do the words ashita hayame ni okiru mean, but this implies something.
So it's what it means in practice, not what.
Right, rather than what it means
Yeah.
as concept, yeah, or what the actual word means, yeah. Pyeongtong, これはとても relevant です。
6段を合格するということはたくさん稽古をしなければならないことです。合格する is to pass or was it to take?
To pass.
To pass.
To graduate.
Passing your sixth dan means you must do a lot of practice.
Right.
Being required to do a lot of practice.
Yeah, what you said first was fine. Passing sixth dan means doing a lot. You have to do a lot of practice.
しなければなりません but then ならないことです So that
Right.
would be the substantivation of しなくちゃ
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
nominalizing しなければなりません. Yeah.
Sorry, can you just explain that again? Because I was just about to ask about Naranai. I didn't quite follow that.
So たくさん稽古をしなければならない. This means
Yeah.
you must do a lot of
Yeah, I
practice.
know that, but why Naranai, not Naramisen?
Because we've got koto des at the end to nominalize it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Passing sixth dan means doing a lot of training. Or doing actually, which is what you said. It means the necessity to do a lot of training. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of which, it's about time for me to start going to the dojo.
Dobrze.
So I'll remain on, but I'll be driving for a bit.
Sure.
Probably.
No worries. No problem.
Have fun.
Ooh, I will. I'm teaching tonight, so yay.
誰も殺さないように.
I can't make promises, I'm sorry.
Okay. Everybody okay? Yep. Okay. And then final section is, the reason is to provide reasoning rather than meaning. And it's this sentence here. If I can ask you to type this down. Naze and doshite are both the same thing. Okay, don't worry too much about the literal translation of these sentences. We just need to get used to hearing them, understanding them, and then saying them. And then you just think, when you hear that nazaka to yuto, in your head, the sentence should appear, this means. Okay. For example, back to you, Kim. Ara, atsui koto. Oh no, actually, let me explain this. Somebody says, maybe the wife of the husband who's leaving the house, Ara, atsui koto o kitterun desu. Ah, you're wearing a very thick coat. Hai. Naze ka to yuto, gogo ni yuki ga furu to yomimashita. As your back, Piotr, if you want to have a try at translating that.
You wear a thick coat. Yes, that is because Yomimashita, I read that this afternoon it's going to rain. To snow.
Yeah, exactly this. Yeah. Hai, naze ka to yuto, gogo ni yuki ga furu to yomimashita. Excellent. There are a few slightly less formal alternatives to this, which are also very useful to remember because they're used a lot. Naze nara, naze, why? Nara, if you're going to ask why. and naze naraba, which means exactly the same.
What's the naraba? Is it like a combination of nara and ba conditional?
Just a second. Let's see. Yeah, but for some reason it's not nareba. Nie wie, dlaczego nie wiem?
Why do you not know?
Nie wiem.
Nie wiem dlaczego. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there are, as you can see here, there are various levels of formality which will increase or decrease the words in these expressions. So we just have to learn to recognize them through practice. Okay, Kim, you're the only one that's here now. You okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's.
Sorry, I've got cramp and I have to put the oven on, so I've got to make tea in a minute.
You put what? those are three completely unrelated things. I've got cramps. I put the oven on to make a cup of tea. What?
No, I needed to get up to put the oven on to make, because I've got to make dinner.
Ah, sorry, that's sort of tea, right? Gotcha.
But I'm not posh, so I call it tea.
That's fine. That's
because I'm working class, so it's tea. Yeah, no, when I got up, I had a massive cramp in my leg.
Oh, okay.
So sorry about that. That's why I disappeared. Sorry, Kim.
Oh dear. Sorry, I had to get up.
If I was posher, but it was always tea when I was growing up.
Oh, for me too. My mother always used to call it tea as well. Right. So now I think what we should have now, we've got all of this, is everything we need to know to understand that video on Wakaru. So I'm not going to do a translation of the transcript. I want you to again sit back, listen, relax a little bit mentally. Don't get hooked onto expressions and think, oh, what does that mean? But try and pick up keywords, try to get the gist of the explanation by keyword identification, body language, intonation, etc., and the context. Stretch, ready? Huh? Go. There we go.
You're not sharing the video, you know that.
I know. I'm just getting it ready. Sorry. Oh, kurwa. Right. And I apologize for the music in advance. Oh, come on, where is it? Here we go. Oh, no, let's put it onto optimize mode just a second. I can't see you guys, by the way, so shout out if anything, if your head explodes or something.
Okay, yes.
皆さんこんにちは。日本語教師の手塚です。よく先生はわかりましたかと聞きますね。皆さんもはい先生わかりましたと答えます。でも日本人が会話で使うわかりますの意味と表現は他にもたくさんあるんです。今日はわかりますを使った友達会話の表現を6つ紹介します。ぜひ覚えて使ってみましょう。
Okay, so that was just the introduction, but was that reasonably easy to understand? I can't see you guys, so you're going to have to answer.
She actually has a really nice way of speaking.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
So it's generally well doable. Yeah.
Okay. Amanda?
Well, a bit. I got a few words, but and the kind of music made it kind of harder to hear what she was saying.
It is a bit annoying, isn't it?
But I mean, I have actually watched this I did your lesson from last week this afternoon, so I've seen this afternoon. So yeah, if I hadn't, I wouldn't have got much, but I could get more this time.
Great. Okay. And Kim?
Well, for me, it's also the second time I see this video, but
Okay.
still there are so many words that I try not to stick on,
Sure.
but
Okay.
I don't understand them.
Okay. So I'm going to go through it.
In general, I understand what she's saying. Like
Yeah.
there are five,
Six.
Six.
Yeah.
Six different meanings of wakaru.
Right.
But
Yeah.
all the jibber jabber in between.
Oh wait, mutsu, not mitsu. Jesus. Yeah.
English. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe? 10, maybe. Yeah. Okay, let's go through it again. Please don't write down notes for the time being. I'm going to give you a translation as we go.
皆さんこんにちは。日本語教師の手塚です。
Obviously, everybody knows this, right? Yeah.
よく先生は分かりましたか？
よく先生が分かりましたかと聞きます。So often, よく the sensei asks, 分かりましたか Did you understand?
と聞きますね。皆さんも、はい先生、分かりました。
皆さんも分かりました。はい、分かりましたと言います。Everybody, はい。So everybody also says, はい、分かりました。Yes, we got it.
と答えます。
と答えます。Answers back. と答えます。
でも、日本人が会話で使う分かりますの意味と表現は他にもたくさんあるんです。
But Japanese people use 分かります in conversation in other ways as well. So 他にもたくさんあります。There are many other ways in which it is used.
今日は分かりますを使った友達会話の表現を
Sorry, let's pick that up. This says 友達 friend 会話 conversation 分かります。I want to introduce 6 ways in which 分かります is used in friend conversation.
友達会話の表現を6つ紹介します。
表現 is expression. So I'm going to teach you 6 expressions of how it is used in friendly conversation. Let's go back a little bit.
たくさんあるんです。今日は分かりますを使った友達会話の表現を6つ紹介します。ぜひ覚えて使ってみましょう。
ぜひ覚えて使ってください。So this means by all means, ぜひ覚えて memorize 使ってください and use them.
Is it not 使ってみましょう?
使ってみましょう。Was it that? Yeah, please try and use them. Yeah.
まず一つ目は分かるです。私もそう思います。同じ気持ちですという意味です。
私もそう思います。私もそう思います。This means I also think this way. I also think so. 同じ気持ちです。同じ same 気持ち feeling. Let's go back a little bit.
まず一つ目は分かるです。私もそう思います。同じ気持ちですという意味です。るの音を伸ばして最後を上げて分かると言ったら綺麗です。会話ではこんな風に使います。
この風に使います。この風 means style or fashion. この風に使います。So you use it in this fashion. Let's just go back slightly.
で、分かると言ったら綺麗です。会話ではこんな風に使います。映画良かったね。
男の人が女の人を助けるところに感動した。
わかる。私もその後、2人が結婚するところで思わず泣いちゃった。
わかる。いい映画を見たね。
Guys, don't worry too much about the sketches because they are very fast and very casual, so it's difficult to pick them up. But if you can just listen to her explanations, these are pretty clear.
わかったわかったはもう十分だ、わかったよという意味です。
Do you all know what jubun means?
Sufficiently or enough.
Yeah. So it's enough. Wakatta, wakatta. I got it. It's enough.
So that's not what to say during a seminar, right?
Yeah, exactly. To the teacher. Hey, wakatta, jubun da.
わかったわかったはもう十分だ、わかったよという意味です。何度も言われたことをちゃんとわかっている。
何度も言われ what was it she said? 言われても it doesn't matter how many times you say it to me, I understand. 何度も
It's difficult for me because she says an explanation or something,
yeah.
And then she says to you imi des.
Yeah. Which is what?
I miss, because in the examples it is like saya biki to iu imi wa, and then saya o hiku koto des. Then
yeah.
But
okay.
Now you just have des.
Toyumi des. So she's actually saying a blah 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 wa, then the explanation toyu imi des. So this means hang on, I don't want to say this means too much in this. A wa, as for a, saibiki wa saya o hiku koto to koto desu. This is just slightly, it's changing around slightly, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, so that was confusing me.
Yeah, but it still means, this means, the meaning of it is this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I have to look for the wa.
I mean, every time you hear toyu no wa, toyu imi des, toyu no des, this toyu imi or toyu no wa, this will crop up in different forms, but this means, or this is the meaning. Yeah.
わかったよという意味です。何度も言われたことをちゃんとわかっている。大丈夫ですよ。心配しないでください。と確認する表現です。会話ではどう使うのでしょうか。
3時半に家を出るよ。
3時半に家を出るよ。Amanda, can you translate that? 3時半に家を出るよ。
At 3 o'clock.
3時半. 3時半, which means 3. Han means half.
Oh, okay. 3:30. 3:30.
Yeah.
We have to go out.
Yeah, we'll leave the house. Good.
はい。
絶対時間を守ってよ。
Piotr, 絶対時間を守ってよ. Oh, if you're driving, Piotr, you don't have to keep changing it. If you just want to listen, it's fine.
I don't mind, but do you have the possibility to unmute me when you ask me something?
Oh, sure, yeah. No, I don't think I can. I think I can only ask. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. So, zettai jikan.
O mamotte yo.
Zettai jikan, no time?
Zettai means absolutely, and then it's comma, jikan o mamotte yo.
Mamoru was to
preserve or to keep.
So we have to absolutely be on time.
Yes, yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Exactly.
いつもくれるんだから。
And then Kim, いつも遅れるんだから。いつも遅れるんですだから。So いつも means
Is it one time or something?
Not one time, but all the time. All the
time. It's more.
遅れる?
Making ready or something?
遅れる means to be late, to be delayed.
We are always late.
Yeah, exactly. Or I think it means you are always late.
You are always late.
Yeah. いつも遅れるんだから because you're always late.
わかったわかった、大丈夫だよ。
Amanda, わかったわかった、大丈夫だよ。
Yeah, I know.
大丈夫だよ。
Don't know that.
大丈夫 means it's all right. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys,
It's
that's
not really credible, is it?
yeah.
It's not really credible, is it? It's always gone wrong. It's gonna be all right.
The way she slaps her makeup and then sits there like an idiot makes me think it's probably not going to be all right. Look, watch. Let me prove it. Yeah.
Well, I can't really see the video, so.
Okay. The others can see it there. Just watch at the end.
と確認する表現です。会話ではどう使うのでしょうか。
3時半にうちを出るよ。
はい。
絶対時間を守ってよ。いつも遅れるんだから。
わかったわかった、大丈夫だよ。
See, she just sits back and does nothing.
Long live red lights, I could see. Yay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
That's the end of today, guys, for now. I do recommend using that one video actually to kind of listen to it. I mean, I've actually listened to it like 30 times now. So I've made sure I now understand everything in it, but it's a really good development video for picking up what we've just been doing.
So could you post the link to the video and the event for tonight? Would that be possible? Great.
Okay, でござる。
質問があります。
どうぞ。
こ
もちろん。
のビデオのは、GLPT のGLPT の何段ですか？何段にですか？
何段ですか？ Just a second. Have a look. This is. Actually, she doesn't. No, she doesn't say what level this is. She does in some videos. I think they're taken straight out of the coursework, but in this case, it doesn't say.
Just general additional knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, this is supposed to be colloquialism, so it may not even be in JLPT. It might just be ways in which to improve your Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. Stop sharing. I've already stopped sharing. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Nice evening.
Thank
You.
Still wondering how you're going to make it to practice in 10 minutes, but.
Well, don't crash on the way. You can be late.
No, I mean you.
Me?
I'm almost there. Yeah.
I've decided to not go in the end. Harry's going to take the class instead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy your evening in that case.
Thank you. I'm cooking all evening. I'm going away this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.